Hello and Happy New Year! Or if you're seeing this later, happy whatever day it is for you. This video is going to be a little different than what I normally post on this channel, but I ask that you stick around and lend me your ear for a little bit here. I promise I'll keep it fairly short, and I have a free surprise for you. I want to talk a little bit about my personal goals from last year and this year, 2024. If you've seen some of my other videos, you'll know that I've primarily been learning Czech this year, while also steadily working on my Spanish. If you're new here and have no idea who I am, hello, I'm Ben. Welcome to the Refold YouTube channel. I've been learning Czech for most of this year and Spanish for the past 3 years or so. Join me as I talk for a bit about my language learning in the past and future. You might even learn a few things or two about setting goals for yourself in this upcoming year. I didn't officially set any goals for myself in 2023, but I did set some goals specifically for Czech. I've been approaching my Czech learning in chunks of about 100 days each. I'm currently in the end of chunk number 3, where I'm learning for 2 hours per day. I'm going to hit 500 hours in about a month or so here, so I'll make a much more in-depth video about my level then. I've been able to stay on track with Czech and it's gone really smooth. And the biggest reason for that is actually another skill that I learned in this past year. I'm not exactly sure what to call it, but it's something like flexibility and habit building and goal setting. I learned how to create new, positive habits. I learned how to prepare my environment to encourage my success. And I learned how to increase discipline and motivation to achieve that success. If you're having trouble sticking to and setting goals, I've got an unbeatable offer for you. On Saturday, January 6th, our CEO Ethan is hosting a free webinar all about goal setting. He was a productivity and project coach for a long time and has done a ton of experimenting and learning about goals, especially New Year's goals. Not only does he have really good information, but I know firsthand how good he is at organizing information so that it's truly useful. In the webinar, you'll be guided through good goal setting and come away with a strong plan for 2024. Click the link in the description for more information. Anyway, my 2024. What am I planning to achieve? One of the tricks I'll use to make my goals more achievable is splitting up my year into 4 quarters and focusing on a different goal in each. Just one focus. I don't want to split my attention between a bunch of things and can instead hone in on one thing at a time. That doesn't mean that I'll ignore the others, but they're just in hibernation. I'll keep going with them as they are without putting any extra thought into them. This is where strong habits come in handy. So, my 4 primary focuses will be Czech, Spanish, fitness and health, and Nahuatl. In the first quarter, I'm going to be focused on Czech. This will be pretty straightforward since I already have a great head start. But like I said, I'm going to phase 4 of my master plan, and that's going to be a pretty big shift for me. I'm focusing on improving my listening abilities, and getting through that shift can be pretty difficult. I personally can really easily lose focus and find myself doing the bare minimum, which is what I want to avoid. I'm going to push myself, and in those 80 days of Czech, I'll get over 200 hours of really good input, which will lead me into phase 5 of my learning. There I'll have a little bit of time to get settled in before I move on to my next focus. I'll still keep doing Czech, obviously, but the whole goal with those first few months is to make Czech something super duper easy so that I can put my effort and focus on something else, which will be fitness and health. For that, I'm not positive what my goals are yet, but I have a guess. And this is a big part of my goal setting. I'm not going to give myself a super rigid plan until I'm out there experiencing it. I don't know exactly what I'll do or where I'll be in 4 months, but I do know that my focus will be on getting 4 great workouts per week and something every day. Right now I'm at 2 good workouts per week and it's something about 5 to 6 days a week, so that target seems pretty achievable for me. Once that's set up around July-ish, my focus will be on Spanish. Of course, I won't not be doing Spanish during all that time, I use it literally every day, but I want to focus on my goal. I'm really curious what it's like to strive for actual native level. I don't mean sounding native-like, but more along the lines of thinking and feeling like a native. I honestly don't even know if that's achievable for me, but I'm curious what it looks like to try. I plan to be here in Mexico for another 3 to 4 years, so I think I have a good opportunity to give it a shot. Those 3 months of Spanish will include getting back into writing, speaking a lot more in new ways, and getting a lot of input. I specifically want to do at least 3 months of no native language entertainment. I did that in all of November last year, and it was really quite fun and rewarding. I'm sure I'll make plenty of videos about this whole process, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss anything. I'm very curious to see what it'll be like. And then, toward the end of the year, I want to start on a personal project that I've had in mind for over a year now. Nahuatl. Nahuatl is a language indigenous to Mexico with about 1.7 million speakers of all the various varieties. We get tons of words from it, even in English. Chocolate, tomato, chipotle, coyote, and many more. Linguistically, the languages are very interesting, and I've wanted to learn for a while. But like most non-dominant languages of the world, there aren't that many resources, especially high-quality ones available online. There are some textbooks and analyses, but essentially nothing for an immersion learner. I've also become fascinated by the process of creating comprehensible input. So I think it'd be a really rewarding and interesting experience to work with native speakers in the area to create comprehensible input that anyone can learn from. I have no idea what this project will look like, but that's sort of the point. It's a personal project that will teach me a bunch of lessons, hopefully. I want to learn about the language, the process of CI creation, project management, everything. All right, so those are my 4 big goals, but how am I going to know whether or not I'm making progress in them? I'm going to track what I'm doing. Tracking for Czech is already underway. I'm tracking hours, words read, and even collecting all the subtitle files for shows I watch. I'll keep doing all of that so I can show you cool graphs and stuff about my learning. For fitness stuff, I'm going to do something similar by counting workouts and workout types. Just in some simple way, probably via a habit tracking app. They're super easy to use and I already use one every day. I'll also set myself a more concrete goal for that 3-month stretch. I said 4 great workouts per week, so I'll probably make my goal something like 30 great workouts in daily movement over the entire stretch. But like I said, I'll refine that goal in March or April. For Spanish, I probably won't track hours, but I will do other goals such as a writing streak or something like that. I think it'd be pretty fun to do like a daily writing blog and include some speaking videos to really give myself an output challenge. I've got some ideas on activities I can do. I know that I'll be keeping track so I can keep myself accountable, but again, let's check on that in July. And then for Nahuatl, I honestly have no idea what it's going to look like. My guess is that I'll want to have at least a few hours of comprehensible input released, but there's still a ton of project planning to do in order to even know what this is going to look like. All right, I'm going to stop rambling now. This is good enough for me and my goals. If you want help setting up your goals, remember to sign up for our free webinar, which is coming up in just a few days after this video goes live. Click the link below and put your name down. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Happy immersing.